Thanks. Want to get out of here?
Yeah. Let's go. Push, baby.
Hey everybody, this is Scott. And as you can see, I've got these three mice here, and in the middle I've got the Darmoshark M3, a gaming mouse. Here's the box. Wait. Okay, anyway. And if you liked my intro, leave a comment down below. If you don't, or if you think they're stupid, or if I shouldn't be wasting my time anymore, leave a comment. I'll just skip ahead and go to the review. But I thought it was important to have these three mice because as of late, these are my favorites. This is the HyperX Pulsefire Haste 2, and this is the Lamzoo Atlantis OG version 2. See what the butterfly. And these I've been using a lot lately. Mostly this one. But I got this one, and after my review of the Deluxe, which it's not, M800 Pro, which it's definitely not, I was apprehensive about this because it's about the same price. I paid $42 for this on Amazon. And it's got a PAW 3395 sensor. It's 48 grams. It is wireless, and it has Bluetooth as well. So I thought, well, let's try it. And as you can see, if you look at this mouse, it looks similar to the Deluxe 800, which I do not have anymore. I actually sent that back. It was really not something that I didn't want to give it away to somebody and them hate me. I just sent it back. But with this one, it looks similar, and it feels a little similar with this bottom. And when I opened the box, I thought, okay, here we go again. This is going to be the Deluxe all over again. But then I opened this up, and that's where your little dongle is. Of course, I took it out, I installed it. That's why it's not there, so don't freak out. And then you got a switch here for Bluetooth, off, and 2.4. If you're gaming, use 2.4. Obviously, don't use Bluetooth. But if you have another device or even another computer, you can just flip it over and put it on Bluetooth and use it for that device. You have a DPI button right there. And, of course, PFT feet. And they give you extras for all of this. This one, these two right here. These do have that squared off cornered side. I don't know if you can see that with my crappy camera, but they're not as smooth as the Lamzoo. They're not as smooth and rounded off as the Haste 2, but it gets the job done. And what I'm using here is this is the in-game MPC 850 Stealth Edition Cordura. Is that how you say it? Probably not. Mouse pad, which I really, really like. These two just glide along like it's water across a creek. I don't know. This one, not so much. Not so much. But on a regular mouse pad, a cloth one, it works perfectly fine. And it's almost like this is an in-between of these. If you notice that this has a similar shape of this one, but it also has a raised back like this one. So that's kind of why I felt like this was the melding of the two. The more I use this mouse, the more I like it. The switches are fine. I don't have a problem with them at all. They do sound a little hollow. Almost sounds like a keyboard. But they work. Side button. See, they do have that hollow kind of cheapy sound to them, but they feel nice. They feel good. They don't spring back cheaply. They're snappy. So, which is important. And as you can see right here, one of the things I like about the HyperX Haste 2 is these grooved covers for the switches, the actual buttons. See how those are curved? So your fingers just lay right into it. This is actually the same way. Not exactly the same way. Let me rephrase that. They're similar. So you do have that kind of slope into it. But the texture on it is very similar to this one. And then in the back is a little more raised in the back. If you notice these a little bit. Not identical, of course, but you do have a more raised middle, which does make it comfortable and easy to use. So using this one and then using this one, they do feel different. And then of course using this one and then going to this one, my hand automatically goes to the position of this one because I've been using it all week. But the feel of this thing, the texture is smooth, but it does have a texture. I don't know if you can see in the light. Come on, camera, focus. Focus. Anyway, you can probably tell that. Yeah, not at all like the Death Adder version 3, where you can shave with it. It's very smooth, very comfortable. And because of its lightness, it doesn't have that hard, like, brittle type plastic that the Deluxe had. This one feels a little bit more like this one. Even though this one's lighter, it's sturdy without feeling cheap. So, great job, Darmoshark. But as far as the shape and everything, I really like it. I like it a lot. Now, performance, I was very surprised. I had no problems with this whatsoever. This does have the same sensor as the Lamzoo Atlantis. And it's also not quite in the same position. As you can tell, it's a little bit further back. So it does have a slightly different feel to it when you move it around. And then you can notice this right here. If you can kind of line them up, it's more like this one. But it's set back a little further, which is fine because the mouse it's a larger mouse. It's not a mini. It's a larger mouse, which is fine. Now, the wheel it's fine. It's great. It feels rubbery, but it doesn't feel cheap. Like, the one thing about the Deluxe I didn't like is when you put your finger on it, it feels like it's just going to slide off. Like, if you have a toy from your childhood that had those rubber tires on it and you could just pull them right off, or if you ran it too hard on the carpet, they just come off. That's what it felt like. This is not like that at all. This feels more like the Lamzoo. And the Lamzoo this costs twice as much. So it has a good click to it, and it feels good. Side buttons are in a more front position for its shape, and I was really concerned about that. But again, where your hand lays on this, I had no problem with it whatsoever. It's right above my thumb, and the other one is just in reach, where it should be. No problem whatsoever. I enjoy using this mouse, and that's what it's about. When you use this mouse, it should not be a hindrance. It should be an extension of your hand. And when I start using this and I start playing a game, I forget what I'm using. And that's a good thing. Much like this one, after I use this for a little while, I just forget it's there. It's like my hand. Same thing with this one. But some other mice, like for me, the Super Light, it just always feels a little off. So I always know it's there. It doesn't really hinder my experience, but I'm always kind of thinking about it, which is not great. So yes, I like this mouse a lot. This is, I mean, honestly, if I had bought this before I bought the Lamzoo, I might not have purchased this. Well, I probably would have. But for you guys, I want to do a review. I mean, these two have been my favorite mice. This has been my go-to all-time favorite mouse. I mean, it's just, I like everything about it. I wish this was white. But this one, for $42, if you need a competitive mouse that is comfortable and fun to use, you can't go wrong here. I recommend it. And then, of course, in the box. I didn't do an unboxing, forgive me. Probably because I can't get the box open. There we go. You get a sticker. You get extra feet, which I don't know what I did with them. You get an adapter, of course, if you want to have this thing closer. USB-C to regular USB. I'm going to have to find out what I did with the feet. Oh, I think they're in there. No. Anyway, they have extra feet. Just pretend that you saw it. And of course you get a USB cable. I have, every box I have, I have these in there because I just have a USB hub that sits right there. You can't see it. It's right out of camera, and I've got, it's full of just mouse dongles. But a good cable. There's nothing wrong with it. Simple. It's white. Let me put all this stuff back. So this is a good mouse. If you want a competitive mouse and you're on a budget, I can recommend this one. I really can. I like this a lot. The only thing really that I have a complaint on. Can you hear that? Something about this is grabbing my Kedora, and I had to grab a cloth one to use it on, which is a little bit of a bummer. But it glides so well on cloth, it's almost the same. But listen, nothing. What the? So maybe I'll get out the Dremel tool and figure that one out on my own time. But if I do, I'll make a video of it and tell you what I did. I think it's the same thing as the Cooler Master M711. It had these little tight spots, these little sharp edges right there, and I just smoothed them out, and it worked great. I really want to use this. I like this. I'm going to do a review on it. It is this guy. It says it's navy blue. It's totally black. But I love it, and I want to be able to use it. So now we're going to look at the software, which is very basic and almost ugly, but we're going to look at it anyway. Right. But this one's really cool. I almost wish I'd gotten the black one. It's very matte, stealth looking. It's really cool. Anyway, so you click on this, and it's pretty basic. You've got your mouse buttons. You can tell it pretty much anything you want to do. You go into here, you can set up your DPI counts. Now, you want to download the software because one thing I noticed, mine came with, it was at 125 hertz polling rate out of the box, which is, I don't know why. So I had to install the software and put it to 1000. And then here's your macros, obviously. And then I did make some setting changes in here. There was ripple and angle snap. I turned those off. Motion sync, I'm not quite sure what that is. I left that on, but it feels fine. I did have to go and actually change the mouse speed to accommodate the mouse speed in Windows. They don't seem to be the same thing. And of course, don't check increase pointer accuracy. Just turn it off. That's that stuff in Windows, that setting that makes it feel gross. So double click speed, obviously I just left it there. Esports mode, I left it closed because I don't know if that's going to blow my hand up. I don't know what that is. It doesn't explain it, so I left it off. Scrolling direction is new. I don't often see that, and you can reverse it, which some people like that because they feel like that's a camera control. They're weird, but hey, knock yourself out. And then here you've got firmware version, software version, auto run on startup. I usually put that off. I program it so I don't want it running in the background. But you can factory restore it, obviously. And then left click lock. That's locked. That's default. So I left it. I'm not positive why that would lock. But yeah, some weird stuff, but it does show you the battery, which mode you're in. You can set different profiles, up to 5. And Yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. It's kind of ugly looking. It's nothing special. But here's the thing, though. It took me about half an hour to find the software. If you go to their website, it's in Chinese, and if you download it, Windows Defender comes up and says it's got a virus in it. So I scanned it. It didn't necessarily find anything, but for some reason Windows Defender does, and it deletes it every time I download it. So I just got frustrated and went to another source. I did find someone on Reddit that was, I think, from Germany, that had a copy of it on his Google Drive. So apprehensively downloaded that and immediately scanned it, and it seemed to be okay. So, and that's what it was. So it may be a little difficult to get this, but I strongly suggest looking for it. I'm not responsible for what you may download, but if the polling rate is set at 125 hertz or 500 hertz by default, you're gonna want to change it to 1000, because that's gonna change that's your performance right there. It's not gonna feel right, especially if you're coming from another mouse that's using 1000. You're gonna know it's at 125. It's usable. You can totally use it, but it's gonna feel kind of sluggish. But yeah, strongly suggest that. And then, of course, like I said, the settings that I have, I turn those two off. And it feels fine. It feels just like the other mice. So that's it. All right, well, that concludes the review. This thing is a marvel for the price. I'm not saying this is the best mouse out there by any means. I mean, honestly, if you have money to burn and you got the money, this is like $89. I love it. I love this mouse. Get it. Okay, this is $98. And so far, the only place I've found it on Lamzu site, and it took me like a month to get it. Still an excellent mouse. All of these are excellent. But if you're on a budget, which who isn't right now, right? You know, a loaf of bread's like $30. This thing, it will get the job done, and I think you'll like it. So if you like the review, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And again, if you like my stupid, dopey intros, then let me know. If you don't, then I can stop wasting my time making them. So otherwise, bye.